Hello, welcome to The Real Frame of Mind. My name is Damon Gumbert. This is a movie podcast where we talk about movies that we like and don't like. This month is the animated edition. I am joined by Taylor Tots Wheeler, Joey Nemi, and Trace Couch Patchen. Yes. First off, we're going to start with our top 5 non-Disney Pixar movies. I'm going to throw it to Trace Couch Patchen to go first with his 4th and 5th movies on his list.
All right, because I've had a lot of time to think about this, so I'm gonna start off with doing Land Before Time as my number 5. Grew up with it, beautiful story, beautiful characters. You're related to Littlefoot.
He said name 3.
Name 3
of the characters in the movie.
Oh, Littlefoot, Petrie. Oh my God.
Wow, there goes your freaking
What?
There's number 5. And
Littlefoot, Petrie, Spike, Ducky, Sarah, Chomper,
Sharptooth, dude.
Sharptooth.
Come on.
And your number 4?
Anyways,
I'd hate to hear your number 6 favorite.
anyways, I'll do How to Train Your Dragon.
Why?
It's a little low.
Because I said so. Your turn.
DreamWorks.
Actually, we're going to skip over to Taylor over here. What is your 5th and 4th?
So my number 5 is Balto, a movie from my childhood that a lot of fun, and Kevin Bacon is Balto, so can't go wrong with Kevin Bacon.
Can't you, though?
You can't.
So everyone in the movie Balto has a bacon number of 1.
So my number 4 would be Corpse Bride, a stop animation film. I'm a huge stop animation person, and it's just, I enjoy it a lot, so that's my...
But really, Corpse Bride.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to move on. Scott?
Well, the correct number 5, Damon, is My Neighbor Totoro,
Oh,
a Studio Ghibli movie.
Yes, a Studio Ghibli movie.
Ghibli.
Ghibli?
Yeah.
I bet you can't name 5 characters from that movie.
From My Neighbor Totoro?
Oh yeah, could you name me 5 characters?
Totoro, the dad, the sister, the other sister,
The dad?
the little boy.
Is that their names?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They don't actually have names in the movie.
No, they don't. And Granny. There's always a Granny in those movies.
Definitely Granny.
Well, what else can you say, man? Totoro is their number 1 selling product in the world. And also, it's very cuddly. Totoro is very cuddly, and
Moving on.
it's the face. It's the face of Studio Ghibli logo. All right, 4 is Shrek. Shrek's amazing. It even has a spot in I Am Legend where Will Smith quotes the movie.
And that's Will Smith.
Yeah. So,
Ugh,
you don't like Shrek, huh?
I'm alright with Shrek. I won't put it in top 5.
It's on par with E.T.
Yeah. Right, Taylor?
What didn't you like about Shrek?
No, I like Shrek. I'm just saying I won't put it on my top 5.
The Land Before Time and
Yeah.
the 12 other movies that he has?
No,
You
just
couldn't even
the
name
first
5
one.
movies in that. 5 characters in that.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't take away from how I
think so,
feel about
yeah.
the movie, does it?
All right,
Well,
so we're going to...
It's not memorable.
Jesus. We're going to skip... we're going to go to number 3. We're going to go back to Scott. Keep going with him.
Howl's Moving Castle.
Howl's Moving Castle?
Can't argue that one.
It's
Let's go with Trace.
we gonna be able to explain or
Nope.
just go? All right.
I actually have.
You can explain your number 1.
Castle is my number 3 too.
Wow. 2 people have the same.
I'll be the cool person and change, and my number 3 is Despicable Me.
Oh, Balto 2.
Balto 2. All right, number 2. Let's go with Taylor.
My number 2 will be another stop animation, Coraline.
You were literally the worst person.
Why? Why is that Why is he literally the worst person?
Do you not like stop animation? Do you have a
I'm
problem
okay
with
with it. It's just those were like not good movies.
Because ...
Because
it?
number
You're
2
a
Scott.
drama queen? Is it because you're a drama queen? Is that why you
Can't
don't
answer.
like
He can't answer, Taylor. Just leave it at that.
that?
Mic drop, right? 2 is Iron Giants. Brad Bird's classic. Now, if we could replay that Hopefully you can do that. That'd be awesome.
I'll roll with that.
Oh, you watch all these dudes just go, ah. Because how can you forget that movie?
I didn't forget it. I was just saying I don't want to have the same list as you because that's my number 2 right now.
Oh. Well,
Good job,
Spoiler
guys.
alert.
Iron Giant's amazing.
It is super good. It's a really well done
yeah.
movie. Underrated because a lot of people would forget it compared to
Yeah, like Damon. Damon
Other-
probably didn't even
other-
see it before.
I own the movie.
Not on DVD.
Do you have
I
a
do
special,
own it on
special
DVD.
collector's edition?
Yeah, you don't have the little guy.
Yeah, do you have the little
I bought
guy?
the-
Oh!
You're not a real fan, Damon.
I knew it.
Oh God.
Yeah, like I said, my number 2.
No,
is
we don't
Iron
care
Giant.
anymore. We're gonna skip to Taylor. What's your number 1?
My number 1 is
And
Howl's
explain.
Moving Castle.
Ooh.
It's my
Try it
only
again.
googly movie
Try it.
on there.
Only good movie.
Yep. I don't know. There's nothing bad I can say about that movie. I've watched it recently and it shot up my list on movies. So it's an amazingly well done movie, well done animation, everything like that. So enjoyable all around.
All right, Trace. Number 1.
Number 1, because I was allowed by everybody else previously, would be Space Jam.
Cheater.
Why am I
I
cheater?
thought you said it was gonna be Pagemaster.
No. I had it originally,
Okay.
and I forgot.
That went from number 1 to number not on the list.
Yep.
Wait.
Because I didn't think we could include something that's 75% live action, but we can, so it's on my list.
Not Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
That's Disney.
Ooh.
Get him!
Anyways, like I was saying, yeah, just grew up with it. Pretty much what most of these lists would be.
He's fixing a divot!
Damon actually doesn't like this movie.
You know, like Space
No, I
Jam?
like the movie.
No,
I
you
just-
said that's not what you said in one of our
Boo,
special features.
Damon!
I
It
did
was
say that.
You said it was a bad movie.
It is a bad movie. I like it, but it's a bad movie.
You said it was a bad movie.
it was a stupid
How?
story.
Comparison.
How on every
Everything
level.
about it.
When the
Wait, wait.
Monstars come down and challenge you to a basketball game, but Damon, you're gonna be hoping MJ is there to save you.
I'm
Yeah.
not.
And Bill Murray.
I'm gonna be going
Yeah.
with LeBron, but that's beside the point.
Oh,
Whoa.
Oh.
If you think a movie is good,
yes.
why would you have to argue that it's bad?
I don't think it's a good movie. I like it.
You don't have to argue.
I'm
You
just
don't have to.
saying-
You don't
I'm
have to.
just
It
going
doesn't
off
have to
what
be
you
a
said.
good movie for you to
I
like it.
understand what he's saying.
I'm going off what you said on tape or whatever on digital
I think-
before about it's a bad movie.
It is a bad movie,
I disagree.
and I will not. I will stand my goddamn ground. It is a bad movie. I like it. I would even go to say I really like it. It's still a bad movie.
If
It's
such
a bad
good
movie. It's like
what's the
friggin'
dog
Super
shit?
Troopers is a bad movie. It's an entertaining movie.
Spike.
The Expendables movies are bad. I still would watch them. It's fine. I can enjoy a bad movie. It's not a big deal. Taylor watches all those crappy horror movies,
But he likes them and he's willing
which
to
is
defend
fine.
them.
Or would you say that they're good?
Yeah.
Look, I don't like all of them, but the ones that I do like, I would defend and say that.
Thank
they're
you.
good.
Yeah. Thank
Good.
you.
In the sense of like compared to other movies, you
The
would say that
ones
they
that
are
I've
good.
watched, like if stuff that people would consider bad movies, like Evil Dead and that, I'd argue
Well,
that's
that
a good movie.
those are like, I mean, like B horror films that you watch on Netflix.
Well, I can't think of one off the top of my head right now.
What B horror
Right.
film movie relates to like what can
I'm just saying that's what he watches, and he
Okay.
says that they're cheesy, stupid movies. You've told me this before.
Yeah, I know.
And that
I've
you-
watched a lot of them, but like if there's one movie I watched, Haunter. I think it's actually a good movie because the premise is great. They did a good job story wise and all that, and I think it's actually a good
Yeah,
movie.
I
But
can-
it's not. It's what other people would consider bad, but I'd argue with that it's a good movie.
Yeah. Enter Nowhere is another movie with Clint Eastwood's kid that no one's ever heard of, and it has
Scott
one of
Eastwood?
the most creative stories ever that I would argue is a good film based on the story. You say you base movies on their writing,
Most of the
and
time,
how can if I like the writing or the acting or whatever the story in this movie, how can I argue that it's bad?
yeah.
That's great.
Let's
though.
move to Scott's number 1. Finally,
Spirited Away.
I was wondering when that was going to come up. I was like,
Well,
no
it
one
came
else
up
put it
now,
on theirs.
dude. Spirited Away is the #1 animated film of all time.
Why?
It's gonna hold up. It's gonna be a test of time because of the character in the movie. She's Chihiro. She is a girl, a female character, which Miyazaki puts often into his movies. A female character, which is different than a lot of the times when you get, a Disney movie and mainly they're male characters. The world that she enters, and she has to battle and fight through her. There's nobody really taking her hand. Maybe you can argue that Haku is, but he's trying to also remember his own identity. So, I mean, with that said, Spirited Away is the number one of all time. It's most memorable. It takes you to a different world every time, and the music helps transport you there.
Does anybody have any other opinions on other people's number ones, obviously other than Space Jam?
Well,
Like, do you guys have opinion
I've never
on
seen
Scott's?
this movie, so I can't really.
Yeah, I haven't either.
can't really.
Do
argue
have
it.
you seen? You've seen because you bought it.
Yeah, I've seen
Do
Spirited
you
Away.
do you agree with everything he just said?
Yeah. No, I agree.
But
with
not
everything you
not
just
enough
said.
to put it anywhere on your list.
Well, see, the problem was that I made my list 5 minutes ago.
Touche.
So,
Would you now put it on your list?
Probably.
Thinking about it.
probably thinking
Okay.
about it, yeah. But since we made our list 5 minutes ago,
Yeah.
no.
So you stick your ground on that one.
Yeah, I'll stand my
Okay.
ground on my 5-minute list.
Scott, would you add anything that any of these other two had?
I
Your
think
list?
Space Jam is a movie that I like and a movie that is good. That's about all I can add.
Would you add it to your list? Is what I was asking.
But what-
Maybe it would be outside, but I was unsure of the
Qualifications.
qualifications is a good word.
Yeah,
for it.
we said it like 5 minutes before we started filming.
But yeah, I am confused about the Page Master, how that never showed up in your list
Yeah.
when it was.
When it was number one, and then fell
It was
completely.
not number one.
You said
I
it was
said
probably
that's
your
on my
number.
list. I never said
Okay,
it was
yeah,
on
no,
the
I
list.
agree. I agree.
That's
I agree. I don't think
Yeah.
you ever said.
Let's go
number
back to the
one.
transcript that we don't have.
Alright, but what about Looney Tunes back in action?
Goldberg's in that.
What
movie.
about it?
You guys like Masters so much. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
I am a little disappointed not one of you had Pokemon the first movie. Extremely.
We rewatched
Let me
that.
cry-
like,
let me
a year
cry.
ago.
Incredibly disappointed.
Let me cry right now.
When Snorlax basically saves everybody,
Everybody.
it's, I mean, this is like the first movie I cried to.
Yeah, that's on my list.
That song though, and
Oh my god.
How did you not have
That is actually like a really short movie. I mean, we rewatched it like what was it, like
I
a
would
year or two
probably
ago,
still cry
and it was
to the
super
ass
short.
sacrifice at the end.
Dude,
And Pikachu
he
ass.
said-
Pikachu's just heartbroken.
Oh my
man.
god. And all the Pokemon just start crying and they resurrect him. Oh.
yeah, it's the dumbest thing that ever
It's a
happened.
tearjerker.
But
All right, so
Did
we're
you
gonna
watch
move
that?
on from the
Oh.
Pokemon talk, and we're gonna get into our verses, which is where we take one thing and put it versus another thing. This is going to be studios, Pixar, starting with Toy Story, going all the way through Inside Out, which came out last month, versus Disney with the original Disney line, or original Disney, which would be starting with like, I don't know, Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella, all the way up through Frozen. Let's start with Scott. What would you pick, Pixar or Disney,
I'm going Disney all the way.
and why?
They have more on the resume than I think anybody can say they're 5-0. I'm just spitballing here. But whatever their good movie to bad movie ratio is for Pixar, I think the heavier influx of Disney movies and the toll they took on everyone, including people and young children today, is just the same as it has ever been. So, and Disney not only they started it all. So the first animated motion picture ever, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, started it, and they're still going strong. But also being smart to align themselves with a company like Pixar. So, I mean, there's no argument here. It's Disney.
Taylor, how do you feel?
I think honestly I'd have to go Pixar. Because to me,
Taylor.
Disney has like 3, maybe 4 actual good movies. Because it's like The Lion King, Aladdin,
Wow.
Beauty and the Beast, and like Tarzan. 5, I guess Hercules is in there too. But like stuff like Bambi, Cinderella, Snow White, all their like super classical movies are really boring and just unnecessary.
for the most part.
You get bored in like an hour and 10 minutes of movie.
I get bored
Almost,
with
yeah.
Bambi. Like I can barely.
Short movie.
Like the last time I tried watching that, I barely like forced my way through that, and I was just using it as background fodder at the end of it because I was like, this movie sucks horribly. So
Fox and the Hound, Sword in the Stone.
Black Cauldron.
He literally
What
has you
is
with
your
Fox and the
problem?
Hound.
haven't
So-
watched it. So
Oh my god, you call yourself a movie lover.
'cause
Let's,
I don't care about actual
stop
animation
it.
like that, but like
Let's just go to Trace. How do you feel?
Oh, this is tough because they both have promising features to them, but I think I'd have to go. Oh man, Disney. Just because, oh boy, but he's gonna say something that's gonna sway my vote. So right now I'm Disney.
Sway his vote right now.
Sway my
Right
vote.
here, right now.
Get
Yeah,
him.
now you guys
Swing
argue.
vote.
How about
Well-
you guys argue for me?
honestly,
Argue for my
for me,
point.
the most feelings I've ever had in a movie came from Pixar, which is Up, and that was like 10 minutes into that movie, like I was
Sure.
heartbroken,
Sure.
happy, and dying all at the same time.
Uh-oh.
And it could have
And
been.
that's the only movie
Dying's
that's,
a feeling now, guys.
yes, dying is a feeling.
No, I hear where you're coming from.
He's
But
swaying me.
But it's a short. You could have wrapped that movie up in the first 10 minutes without introducing any other character or any other storyline.
I mean, you could
You
do
could
that
do
with
it.
like any movie though. Like I could wrap
The
up
opening
Aladdin
crack.
in 5 minutes if I wanted to. Like I could have Aladdin get captured in the Cave of Wonders and the movie's done. He can't get out.
But you don't have Jafar
And Iago.
and Iago.
And Iago.
Look, I could wrap up any movie in 5 minutes if I really wanted.
But I just
to.
said Aladdin, you can't because you have the
You
main
can't,
villain
because
Jafar.
just goes and takes what he wants. Then Aladdin's not there to stop him, so Jafar just takes what he wants, rules everything, and it's done.
So within 10 minutes, you'd have Jafar taking over everything he wants and then getting beat at the end.
Best
no,
movie
I
ever.
would say because you just cut Up down to 10 minutes, which is essentially just wife dying, movie over.
Well, no, that's what
Super depressing movie.
Yeah,
It
extremely
is?
depressing. What I'm saying, Aladdin. If you trap Aladdin in Cave of Wonders, it's done because Jafar gets to take what he wants. It ends with him on top. That's the end.
But you
of the
don't have
movie.
the genie.
But I'm saying I
The
could-
genie,
Robin
the
Williams.
genie
R.I.P.
is
Robin Williams.
yeah. I mean, there's. Well, you can stop me, Commissioner, if I go too far.
I will.
But we don't have a Pixar world. We have Disney World, Disneyland, that these kids are going to nowadays, that they're immersed in this Dumbo ride, and all these rides, Cinderella's castle, and they're reminded of it through the films that they watch on the way there, or when they're staying at the hotel, and Pinocchio, and all these classic movies where I don't disagree with Pixar being top notch on their game, good, great movies, but you can't fight the history. You can. It's not.
But
You
my
can't argue.
problem with what you just said is you said kids nowadays, and I guarantee you not one of them would name Bambi or Cinderella.
Or
They
Dumbo.
would jump.
Cinderella.
They would jump straight to like Cars 2, stuff like that, because that's what kids watch nowadays.
Well, what is the biggest movie that's come out recently? Frozen. Disney. Boom.
Get
It was a
him.
crap
Get 'em!
movie.
Well, what you just argued the kids. I just argued the kids back. Where's
Yeah,
the?
What I'm
Frozen
saying
is-
is your main argument, besides just pulling up Frozen right now, your main argument before that was Pinocchio, stuff like that.
Oh, I added Pinocchio into what I was
You were
saying.
talking Dumbo, but those are all movies from
No,
about
I was
50
saying
years
rides,
ago.
dude.
But
Yeah,
what I'm
it's
saying
still
is
a
you're
ride at
saying that
Disney
kids
World.
are remembering those.
No,
No, kids
no,
nowadays are going to
children.
remember Pixar movies over Disney movies because Pixar is more recent to them. Nobody's going to remember except for like our generation and generations before us.
Cars had its
Well, that's-
moment. It's done. Frozen is the end thing. Frozen is what's happening right now. There are kids who will be Anna and Elsa for Halloween from here until the next Disney or Pixar movie that comes out. Because I'm not denying Cars was big. Cars was really big. But then they went and
Spawned
did
like
Cars
4
2,
spin-offs.
and Cars 2 fell flat.
But essentially, you have one movie that kids nowadays are going to remember versus
Lion King.
15 that
We'll remember Lion King. But
yeah, we'll remember Lion King because Lion King's a
So-
good movie. But kids nowadays are gonna remember the like grouping of Pixar ones versus like the one Frozen thing that happened.
Well, that's why as parents you have to pass on what you had in your
It's
time.
based on the
Exactly.
parents,
You're-
but how many parents actually do that nowadays?
The
Like,
kid,
I
the,
don't
the
know.
parents that are becoming parents in our generation who grew up with it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason why I was hooked on a 1940 some movie that my parents were passing on to me on VHS, then DVD because I liked it. You know,
And that's essentially the reason why people in our generation have ever watched Star Wars.
yeah.
Our parents made us watch it, and now we're fans of
But I
it.
mean, if you look at
And now they're bringing it back for the new generation
if you
too.
look at parenting nowadays, I'm gonna be terrible right here. Parenting nowadays is horrible. It's essentially sit your
Because
kid down
they-
in front of
It's
Netflix.
because they
don't-
promote Disney movies.
No, because they don't actually like make their kids watch stuff. They like
That's
sit
not
their
even
kids down and let them do whatever.
That's not even relevant.
Kids
they-
are gonna go on Netflix and watch something like Toy Story or something like that over.
Is Toy
something
Story
like
even on
Bambi.
Netflix?
No.
No,
Okay, but you know what it is?
still.
Pocahontas.
What kid is
This is
gonna
what
watch
I-
Pocahontas?
If it's
I
on
don't even
Netflix,
wanna
like you
watch
say, they'll
Pocahontas.
watch whatever.
I don't even want to watch Pocahontas. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
I do.
I'd watch some of their.
But
other
I'm
ones,
countering
yeah.
your argument. You know what I mean? I'm
Mulan.
countering your argument to the fact that Toy Story is on Netflix, which he said it isn't.
It's not. I've trolled Netflix enough to
And
know.
so you have Disney movies, but not Pixar movies on Netflix. So which are they going to be exposed to? And you're saying one movie, Frozen, over 15. Dude, come on. You're telling me that nobody knows Snow White? You work at Walmart. You should know in the kids section, they still have dolls
Shut up.
going back to Snow White.
Well, I'm a hardware department.
You've never
but I
walked
did-
around
I did.
the store.
I did buy Lindsay Miller's son Carter. I bought him a Mr. Potato Head from the movie Toy Story when it was his birthday. So they still have Toy Story stuff. I mean, I don't.
Correct.
Like,
But they're going back to Disney princesses that are
Yes.
how many years older? There's Snow White, okay? There's Belle, there's
Yeah.
Cinderella, and then there's even the Maleficent movie that reignites the Sleeping Beauty
And Huntsman.
franchise.
That's what I was
So
gonna mention before. Is now Disney is going. They're bringing some of their older movies back, like Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella,
Pan.
Peter Pan. Sure,
Yeah,
they're bringing
Peter
them back
Pan
as
is
live
amazing.
action movies instead of doing animated, so they can again kind of get the new generation in.
yeah, because the new generation has not seen the old stuff.
Plus,
So
they
they have to
the
revamp.
attention deficit disorder
Yeah,
kind of
No,
Yeah.
I'm telling dude, and I'm not going in and I'm not judging where you're coming from, but I have a lot of cousins, a lot of young cousins. And I guarantee you, man, they're sitting down there and they've watched Disney movies over and over again. And sure, yeah, they have watched Pixar films as well, and that's their generation now. But they are still loving the Disney movies. And I'm telling you, going back to what the most recent released one is Frozen. And that just goes to show that Disney is not dead in terms of coming up with smart ideas and being able to promote them to younger audiences that are now in with the Pixar age. But the thing is you're also going to go to Disney World or Disneyland and see Buzz Lightyear and Woody. So who is that a win for? It's Disney, because they're smart enough to be like, hey, we created you, so hey, you know, here we're coming partners.
Which-
we're gonna own you, and that's just the way it is.
Which brings up the question: would you go to a Pixar land if they had one?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yes. In
Yeah.
an instant.
But why haven't they had a
Just
Pixar
float
land
on
yet?
a.
Trace,
Oh, I don't know.
still Disney
Because
after
Disney's
hearing
been
all that?
around
Yeah,
for
yeah.
70
Can I swing your vote?
Yes, please.
Monsters Inc.
Well, yeah, no. My favorite movie from the company as a whole is Monsters Inc. But I understand where the argument is coming from on both ends.
But for
Because-
like your personal opinion,
Yeah.
movies that you enjoy, would you put Monsters Inc. in that behind stuff like Sleeping Beauty,
No.
Snow White, and that? So
No.
why would you consider Disney, in your personal opinion, better?
Because of the history, dude.
That's
It's
my
the history.
I don't care about the history for me. I'm looking at my personal view here.
Right.
And there's
And
like
that's why I was at a
there's
standpoint,
very
because
few movies from Disney I would rate over that.
right, it's just in the track record for Pixar is if you combine them in the or compare and contrast them, actually Disney has
Disney.
Come on.
Disney has a worse track record than Pixar. Pixar is doing with the amount of films that they've chimed out, better than Disney was. I mean, there was a whole era
And
where
how many-
Disney wasn't doing anything until like 89 when Little Mermaid came out. You know, they rejuvenated themselves in the 90s and then made all those classic movies for us to watch. But I understand, and that's why I ended up picking Disney, is because of the history. And yes, there's a Disneyland, a Disney World. Those names, Cinderella, Snow White, they're synonymous more so than Sully or Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc. Even though as much as I love the movie, you know everyone. It's like everyone knows Cinderella wherever you go. Everyone knows Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah, and I
Cinderella's
honestly
not just
can't name the
strictly a
characters
Disney
from up.
thing though.
Right, but I mean it's
That's some like
Because
if I
of
hadn't
Disney.
watched Disney stuff, I still would have known about Cinderella and that because I read fairy tales, I read stuff like
Well,
that.
okay,
You're
yeah,
weird.
but
But they didn't translate onto film for you, though, the way that Disney took those characters and translated to them. You're talking about the first ever animated movie. Without that movie, you wouldn't even have Pixar. So your argument right there is moot. It's done. It's over. It's gone. Because without all of this and
My
what
personal
they
opinion
took,
has been destroyed.
It has.
I can't have an opinion.
You can't.
Personal opinion.
So we're gonna move on.
that's where my
you argue the same thing in your comic book debate. Come on. You can't accept the fact that you got beat? It is. Disney, and we all love both of them.
There's a difference between my comic book league where we're scoring points to try and beat one another versus my personal opinion on a matter in Pixar versus Disney. There's a big difference there.
In Tots' defense, everyone raves about the Beatles. If you didn't have the Beatles, you wouldn't have music now. I hate the Beatles.
So
So do I. So do I.
So do you think the Beatles are better than a band you listen to now?
I hate Adrian Peterson, but do I think he's a good running back? Do I respect him? Hell yeah, I do. Same with a lot
Or
of
you would pick AP over whoever?
who?
I don't know, who's your favorite running back?
Who's my favorite running back?
Yeah.
Terrell Davis of all time.
Okay, so he's before AP. So that doesn't matter.
If
Who's
you-
your favorite running back now?
can't pick AP.
Obviously.
But I'm not arguing for favorites. I'm saying I don't
Well,
like
that's
the,
what this is. Your favorite.
Yeah.
Right?
But
Well, it
you're,
really
but I'm
is.
still accepting the fact that one is good, and I can still be beat by someone saying Adrian Peterson's a great running back. I don't like him, but what am I gonna say? Yeah, he's a great
Right,
running back.
He's a good parent.
Would you put him in the top 5 running backs that you're your favorite running backs?
Well, what about receivers?
No, I'm just talking running backs.
Well, I was just saying we should probably rate receivers again. But anyways,
Oh well.
no, I'm just
I
saying.
hated that the first
I'm
time.
saying
Let's not do it
our
again.
argument was to do what? Is to persuade the audience to join us and to persuade Trace to join our side.
Yeah.
I got him to join my side.
It's a victory.
At
Point
some-
Mimi.
At some point, is there something in there that says, okay, yeah, that was a good point. If you made a great point, which
Yeah.
I've already acknowledged the
Because at
fact that
first
there
I wasn't.
are Toy Story and the good movies that are coming out now that are animated are Pixar. I get it, but in the long run, in the haul that Disney is, the whole circle, they outweigh Pixar. You know, maybe 25 years down the line when they have enough credit and you know you can go movie to movie, match them up, then maybe yeah you can make an argument for Pixar. But it's right now it's you just can't do it.
Amen,
Just
brother.
bring
Amen,
up-
brother.
I'm going to bring up Finding Nemo.
Oh,
We're going to.
we'll talk
Don't
about
worry
that later.
So we're going to move on to the Oscar Look Back, which is a new segment we're doing, where we look back the last couple years in Oscar nominated and winning movies for animated movies. Just talk about which one you think should have won. If there's a movie that you wasn't nominated that you think should have been nominated. We're only going back to 2013 because that was as big as the paper is. So we'll start with last year, 2015. The nominated movies were Big Hero 6, Box Trolls, How to Train Your Dragon 2, Song of the Sea, and The Tale of Princess Kaguya. Kaguya? Okay. You would know how to.
I watched it. I don't know.
And the winner last year was Big Hero 6. How did you guys feel about that?
Come on.
Disagree.
Okay. Trace, what was the come on mean yes? Like you agree?
Yeah, that's-
Okay. I wasn't sure. I know you were
I
just.
liked it though.
Taylor.
Well, before I get into mine, I want to know what he thinks
Okay,
is
fine. Scott.
worthy of an Oscar from last year.
From last year,
Yeah.
I thought there was two that were a little better than Big Hero 6.
Okay.
And I'll go Princess Kaguya
Mhm.
as number 1, and then number 2, How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Yeah, that was a really
How to Train Your Dragon
underrated-
2 was a
was a
fantastic
really
movie.
good movie.
So
Can
That's
I'm
my
gonna throw two movies in here that I'm not seeing on this list that I think
sure,
deserve
yes,
to be on the list.
by all means.
The Book of Life, which I borrowed from Taylor, and I liked a lot. It was really funny, really well done.
Was that stop animation too, or?
No, it was this weird little like
'Cause I know it was
almost
different.
like paper mache looking,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
paper looking characters. It was really interesting. And obviously the Lego Movie, which was the big huge controversy that didn't get nominated after how huge it did and everything. So with that added, Taylor.
Well, personally, you brought up two of the movies that I would have brought up essentially, which is Book of Life, which I loved, and Lego Movie, which got snubbed for no apparent reason because the Oscars are the Oscars. They don't
Because
care
it has
about
live
actual
action.
thing.
They hate
Very, it
African-Americans.
did have like, and I was wondering if that was the
is
reason they didn't.
The reasoning that they gave was
'Cause
that
it was
has
like all of,
live
like,
action.
it was 10
It's
minutes
not
of live
a
action.
pure animated feature, so they
That
didn't
is-
give it for best animated feature.
Absolutely insane, but okay.
That's their reasoning.
Personally, I'm fine with Big Hero 6 winning because I love Big Hero 6 all
fun.
the same. I probably would have, if I was voting, Lego Movie and Book of Life would have been in over part of those.
Box
and-
Trolls and Song of the Sea.
Yeah, I watch Box Trolls. It's fine, but
Yeah.
it's nothing that deserves an Oscar nomination aside from the time that people have to put in to make that movie, because that is a huge process for any stop animation thing. But aside from that, honestly, if I had to choose a different winner, either Lego Movie or Book of Life for me, I might push to Book of Life in all honesty, but Lego Movie is amazing all the same.
I gotta jump on his bandwagon with the How to Train Your Dragon 2. I didn't see the other one though, so actually really, I saw Box Trolls and How to Train Your Dragon 2 out of the list of nominations. But yeah, How to Train Your Dragon 2 is very underrated, and that franchise is what's keeping DreamWorks
Afloat.
chugging along right now because it is very, very underrated and very, very good. But compared to Big Hero 6, yeah, I mean it's a toss up. I mean, did it deserve it? I'd have to see all the other nominations, or even what was the other one you said? that
Book
you
of
were
Life
thinking? Book of
and
Life. I didn't
Lego
even see
Movie.
that one.
Hey, who made Big Hero 6?
It was
Disney
Disney.
Pixar?
No,
Disney Pixar? Just Disney? Okay.
Ooh, get 'em!
It looked like it could have been
See,
a
that's
Pixar
but that's
movie.
and
That
that's
was
another
weird.
thing I was gonna say is that Disney is capitalizing on their Pixar.
They changed the animation style for that one.
Okay.
So no one Lego Movie. I know Scott, you the other night you said you didn't like
Lego Movie I thought was a little bit overwhelming. I thought it was.
It was a fun movie. I mean,
thought it was annoying.
it
I did
was
not like
annoying
Chris
at
Pratt.
times.
He was loud and he shouted and he bugged me. You know, and the introduction, all these Lego characters, which I thought was cool. But the thing is, and this is probably, I shouldn't even be saying this, but I never played with Legos, dude. I never played with Legos.
You're upset.
If I did, I played it for the little guys, so maybe I was cool. It was cool that they had like Gandalf and Batman in there, but
It was
the "Everything Is Awesome" song it drove me absolutely insane. It was unique.
See,
It was catchy.
Question
So
is, have you listened to the full Everything Is Awesome before?
was that? Did they play that on the Oscars?
That's
they
the,
did. That was Tegan and Sarah did it on the Oscars.
Okay, yeah. Then they did it on the Oscars,
The
and
one in
it
the
still
movie,
drove me
Lonely
nuts.
Island does it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did
with
it on the at the Oscars. They did.
Okay.
Tegan and Sarah did it with The Lonely Island.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
There's promising things in the Lego Movie, but I kind of agree. It was overrated. I think it should have at least deserved an Oscar nomination for what it did.
sure, without a doubt, you can throw it in there because I understand how many people enjoyed it and whatnot.
And how big it was, but yes, and even the animation was very
And
impressive.
I
too.
enjoyed the ending. I thought the ending was well done.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah, for
with
sure.
that said,
Yeah.
sure, put it in
There-
there.
Yeah.
There's
put it
a-
in there,
I
it
don't. I
says.
don't feel like. I don't feel like that movie. I mean,
No, I don't
it
think it
just
should've
bugged
won.
me, man.
No, I don't
It
think-
bugged me.
I don't think it should have won either.
There's
I
a
think-
really funny Key and Peele skit where they pretend to be Marshawn Lynch and Richard Sherman at like a press conference where it was like right after the Oscar nominations
Oh, yeah.
and Keegan Michael Key as Richard Sherman just goes on a tirade about how Lego Movie wasn't nominated over Box Trolls and he just like rips apart Box Trolls for like 5 minutes. It is
Good.
really funny.
Did you agree with his?
Yeah, because I caught Box Trolls when we had it up on the TVs at work, and everything that I saw was just I didn't like it. It was
It's
What?
again I couldn't.
I thought you said you wanted to watch it and you were intrigued by it because you watched it at work.
No, that was Book of Life.
Oh, okay.
Book of Life, and I ended up borrowing it from Taylor because I watched that and I would actually stop and watch it for a little bit. to be
Oh, okay.
honest. Like at
I
10
would
o'clock
love
at
to
night,
call you
I'm sitting by the TVs over
You
in
just love the
furniture.
controversy.
Oh, that would
Yeah.
be
Look,
great.
I don't think Box Trolls is that bad of a movie, but it doesn't deserve an Oscar nomination for it. So
No,
Yeah.
I agree with that. We're all in agreement on that one.
Okay,
Alright.
so let's move to 2014.
Yeah.
The nominations were Frozen, which I mean I'm not even gonna pussyfoot around it. That one.
just every child in the universe
Croods,
loved
The
it.
Croods, Despicable Me 2, Ernest and Celestine, and The Wind Rises. Or Wind Rises. I don't know if it was The Wind Rises.
I have discrepancy.
For me, honestly, none of those are all that amazing. I like Despicable Me 2. Does it deserve an Oscar win? Probably not. But that's about for me, the best one on that list because
There was
I
almost no
personally
way that
haven't-
Frozen wasn't going to win.
I haven't seen The Wind Rises, so I can't say anything about that one yet.
No.
But for what I've seen off that list, Despicable Me 2 was the best one for me.
And that Ernest movie looked really interesting, though. I never saw it, but it did look.
Isn't it the two mice?
Yeah. Yep.
Never saw it, but Frozen I didn't like the first
No.
time I watched it, and I literally had to watch it again and listen to the music over and over on Pandora Disney. To like all of a sudden now it's like, oh, where's that Frozen song? And
Yeah.
that's what happens to you when you watch it over and over. So
They
all they
get you.
have to do is hook you once, and you're done for.
Disney, man. The
Yeah,
music.
that's
that's
music
what
is
we
Disney
should
fantastic.
be
soundtracks.
talking about. We should be just talking. We should just play the music right
For
now.
the next one though is the music
Yeah,
one.
that's
So
true. We can-
tune
we
in.
we
So
can-
it's just going to turn out
Yeah.
to be a Disney music episode.
Music
in
It
general.
very well might be.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But I think The Wind Rises is something for me. I thought was
Was that another Studio Ghibli?
Yeah.
it was Studio Ghibli and it was
Shinko Ghibli.
it was very personal. I think to Miyazaki's tale. It was a movie about his dad and sort of for his dad. The only movie he ever cried. The only movie that he's ever made that he's cried to during the
During
screening.
the screening.
So it was well. I watched it before I knew that happened, but
Yeah.
it was a very touching tale. So that one I think deserved to be. I thought it deserved, but what was Frozen again? What company did that?
Disney.
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 They were a
Oh,
Disney
okay.
movie.
Okay.
Who did Hugo?
Hugo.
Scorsese.
Well, I directed. Who?
Well,
It's
that
not
wasn't
Disney.
animated.
DreamWorks.
All right, let's move to 2013, which I think is just from the list that Taylor gave me is a bad year for animated movies. The nominations are Brave, Frankenweenie, Paranorman, Wreck-It Ralph, and Pirates! Band of Misfits.
Pirates Band of Misfits was
Yeah,
on there.
They got
Yep.
a nomination. Yeah.
I
Is
got a
that
nomination.
like Disney Child Station?
No,
or?
no. It was.
that's-
It wasn't even Disney. It was some other.
It's
I know what you're
another
talking.
stop
You're thinking about
animation
it. It was
style
a stop
movie.
animation. But this one's rough because actually I'm gonna have to side with Nemi on this one. I think the Disney one should have won this one over the Pixar movie. I think Wreck-It Ralph was a far superior movie than Brave was. So
Wait, so you're agreeing with
'Cause-
Taylor because you thought
No,
Wreck-It
no, no.
Ralph should have won?
Wreck-It Ralph was not Pixar. It was just Disney.
Really?
Brave was the Pixar movie.
Yeah,
that
Brave
won
was
it.
Pixar.
Yep.
That is so bizarre.
It just blew your mind.
Yes, but Brave did end up winning.
Yeah, which I don't think was warranted, but
It is a very damn. it's a very kind of opposite because Wreck-It Ralph feels like a Pixar movie.
It does.
And Brave feels like a Disney movie. to
It
me.
also does, yeah.
Because if like Brave is like your Disney princess style movie, Wreck-It Ralph feels like something that Pixar would pull out of their asses and throw onto something. Wreck-It Ralph probably is the best one on there. I know I sided with Pixar before.
What were the other?
Brave was
Frankenweenie,
What?
Paranorman, and Pirates Band of Misfits. That was the other three.
It was Disney Pixar. I've watched like those compilation things of like all
Alright,
the
anyway.
Pixar stories.
Trace's a Watch Mojo
So-
obsession.
Do you
I
think
do.
Trace
Yeah,
thinks
keep
Wreck-It
away
Ralph
from
should have won?
If I had an
you think-
underdog on that list, Paranorman would be my
True.
underdog on
I
that
didn't
list.
mind
Scott,
that.
what do you think should have won that year?
I thought Paranorman was unique. I actually saw it in theaters and
Same here,
I
actually.
enjoyed. I really enjoyed it. The sister was really bugged me, man.
Anna Kendrick, that's my girl.
Oh, dude, there was like there was something with the character with the gums that reminded me of her.
Yep.
I'm just kidding.
They
Anyways,
took actually a strange character arc route in that movie where they made one of their characters gay at the end, which is
Yeah.
it's not
The
common for
quarter-
that to be in
the
a
football
kid's
player
animated-
was-
kid
Yeah,
animated
the
feature.
big
So
football
Yep.
it's a
player.
little-
could have got me,
We're
man. I don't even
scared.
remember why. I
Yeah.
watched it once in theaters and
I just
when
bought
did
it a
that come
couple days
out?
ago.
2013?
2012 probably,
Yeah,
2013.
I watched
2013,
it once.
yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, a
so
couple years ago.
didn't catch it, but now I know.
I like the ending
But
cinematics.
what was it? Yeah, I'm gonna have to side with Pixar. I thought Brave was better.
Hmm.
Really? Then Wreck-It?
Sure, yeah. When I go back, I have to sit on a movie for a little while, and sort of soak it all in. And the movie that I wanted to go back to more, and one that I'm still trying to buy for cheaper than $30 is Brave.
I got it. For 10.
On Blu-ray.
Sell it to me for 20.
I might think about it. Because it's not technically mine. It's Galen's. Anyways,
That's fine.
she won't see that.
She won't. She doesn't
No,
watch these.
She doesn't
no,
watch
nobody knows that.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought Brave. I enjoyed Brave, in the story. And
It wasn't a bad
Oh, that-
movie by any means, but I just thought
there's
It,
something.
it took some weird turns there, like when I thought it was just gonna be like a
I
kind of like
think
a counter to How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah,
with
I
the
think
Scottish
the
characters.
trailers of that movie were really deceiving.
Yeah.
Where I didn't know it was anything. I didn't think
No,
it was
yeah.
going to be a mother-daughter tale. I thought it was going to be more of a warrior.
Which is also
woman.
unique, you know.
Yeah, it
which
is unique.
An
Which is-
empowered
yeah,
woman.
which definitely takes the like the again like the how I felt like it was kind of an offshoot, like I can't think of the words.
I think
It
I
was
could
countering How to Train Your Dragon, where the How to Train Your Dragon was a father-son tale. This was a mother-daughter tale, and I don't know.
I think
And
I
obviously
think
took that weird turn in the middle where they ended up being werewolves or something.
Bears.
Bears.
Bears. That's what I'm
This
gonna call them now.
discussion warrants a rewatch of the Brave movie because it's been a while.
That's true. I honestly,
Yeah,
I
right?
probably would've picked
It is
Paranorman.
sold.
Get a
Very
Blu-ray?
well. I like
Yeah,
Bears.
Blu-ray, dude. With DVD and digital copy.
Let's do it right here, right now.
I get the movie. Actually, I don't know. I get it. I probably
All right.
have to talk to her.
So let's move on since it's almost an hour into this.
What?
So we're gonna skip to the screening report now. Two of our people ended up watching Minions. I forgot the stupid
Wait,
movie
wait,
we were
wait,
supposed
hey,
to
hey.
watch.
We can redo. Two of these people were watching Minions. I want to ask you right now.
Yeah.
Do you want to get the hell out? I'll just get up and walk out, or do you want me to just stay here?
I'm okay if you stay there because Trace was pretty silent during the Pixar Disney debate.
Okay, you want me to just sit here?
So
Alright.
I mean,
Or, dude,
Oh, we're doing it live? We're doing
Yeah,
it
we're
right
doing it.
yeah, we're
live
doing the
action?
screening report right
Yeah.
now.
right now.
This is part of it.
Ooh.
Ooh, it's just easier. Then we don't have to plug
Here
it
we
in.
go. Ready. I remember the
Give me a
movie.
second. I got my
So who am I filming?
Just us.
those two.
Yeah, just sit there.
Yeah, because I honestly don't care about the movie, so I'm just gonna be silent. As Scott
Be
was.
silent.
So you're,
Keep your
you're
full
positive
tongue
on
behind your
negative.
teeth.
Do you want me to start? Or?
Yeah, you start it.
Okay.
So say it again.
Yes, so we are going to the screening report now where two of our people, Trace and Taylor, went to see the movie Minions. Obviously, Trace went by himself because he's not allowed within 50 feet of children.
That's true.
So we'll start with,
Or parks.
well, because there's
Very-
children at parks.
Very disappointing.
Yeah.
I really love.
He had to let all of his people know when he moved to his new house that he's a sex offender.
Why are we putting this on
What
here?
do you do with that?
No, I'm just gonna move into it. So Taylor, how was your movie experience?
For me, I enjoyed it. It guaranteed I will give it. It's not the greatest movie in the world, but it had enough comedy in it to where I had fun with it. I'm not gonna rank it higher than stuff like Toy Story or anything like that, but it was fun. It was enjoyable. It was a nice little experience. I took my mother to it and she had a good time, so it's really good for any age. So I mean, I know that makes me whoever thinks that's weird taking your mom to a movie, but don't care. Um, it had comedy for essentially any age because there was Beatles jokes in there. There was all
A
forms
lot
of
of
different
pop
jokes.
culture reference.
Yeah, a lot of like classic pop culture reference for it. So I don't know. Overall, I'd say it's worth watching at least once.
Rating?
Rating star wise
Out of 5, please.
out of 5, probably a 3. Just because it's worth watching, but it's nothing that's above a lot of other stuff. So
All right, here I go. All right, Minions. It was a promising idea because I really like the Minions from the Despicable Me movies. But it's like taking Chewbacca from the Star Wars franchise and making a movie solely on him. It's you don't take side characters, these characters that are designed to be side
I
characters.
think I have a problem that you're probably going to explain here in a second, which is the speak.
Yeah.
Because having a character that doesn't speak English as your
Right.
main character is hard
Right.
to.
It's and there's ways to do it. Obviously, there's movies that have done that successfully,
Mhm.
but it's. I think actually the first portion of the movie with just them was fun, was entertaining. Like going through the montage of them throughout their life because they're immortal pretty much. With each and every evil boss that they've had was fun, and that was probably for me the best parts of the movie. And then they introduced these lackluster human characters in the movie that you don't have any relation to, you don't feel, or they're just there to be there. I just think, to keep it short and sweet, that it was an unnecessary movie trying to grab the Despicable Me money. I think that the Minions are best. It's almost like I guess we can relate it back to Marvel movies. Like that's why they have trouble having an Incredible Hulk movie, standalone movie, because it's a character that's hard to do on his own. But he shines in those movies with other people around him.
Mhm.
That's what I'd say about the Minions, is that they're the funniest parts of the Despicable Me movies because it's not all about them. There's overarching story in there.
Like the aliens and the claw machine from Toy Story.
Boom, exactly.
Nah, clown.
Or they should just stick to the short films that they're doing with them. But this
So,
did
yeah.
really good in the box office, so we'll probably see another one.
Short films are fine with the Minions, but my problem, one of the reasons I can't rate it as high as my problem with the speech, is because it's essentially gibberish thrown together.
Yeah,
There's no way to really truly understand what they're saying,
right.
and
I
when
completely-
they're trying to like talk with like characters, the other characters, it doesn't come off right.
And it's
'Cause-
funny. It's funny. I mean, that's
Mhm.
one of the takeaways from these characters is that they're goofy. They're supposed to be dumb, goofy
Yeah.
characters. But it's just as a feature length film, it's just hard to stick with it the whole
Yeah.
time.
What's your rating?
1.5.
Wow.
Out of 5?
Yes, 5.
Oh, that well.
Huh?
That well.
I mean, if you think about it, it's not that low. I mean, we were only 5
That's-
stars here.
that
Here.
is
No, that's
pretty
actually
low
very
for-
low. Yeah.
That
Fuck
essentially
that.
saying that movie's horrible.
No, that's not. Okay, 2. Sorry, that makes a whole
Wow,
big difference.
That happened. All right, that's huge.
What did you want? Okay, sorry. My opinion's invalid to all of you. It's a 5-star movie. 5-star movie. Everyone go see Minions because it's a really, really good movie.
I will
Okay.
not.
Nope, me either.
So Trace was a 1.5 star.
Yep.
All right, so there was your screening report. Now we're going to move on to the good, bad, and ugly. Segment is called the good, bad, and the ugly, where we talk about movies that we think are good, bad, and ugly, which is either you think it's good movie that other people think is bad, or a bad movie that other people think is good. Let's start with Scott. What is your good movie?
My good movie is The Lion King. Hands
Classic.
down, one of the all-time best animated movies of all time. There you go.
All right.
Said all time twice.
Taylor, what is your good?
My good, I would go with Up.
Okay.
Really good movie. Like I stated before, it really hit me in the emotions. So,
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
yes.
What's the main character's name?
Dude.
Get
Get him!
Mufasa.
Get him!
Is it
Thanks,
Carl?
Damon.
No
It's
problem.
Grandpa.
It's Carl, right?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I was actually asking, so I have no idea what any of the characters'
Yeah,
names
just
in that
Carl,
movie are.
Yeah.
Like I know it's a good movie, but I wouldn't put
I
it.
remember-
That doesn't take away from you liking the movie any less. If you
It
don't
doesn't.
know
It
any
doesn't.
fucking
I was
characters'
just kind of like, I honestly was wondering because I was thinking about that earlier. Like I actually don't know any of the characters' names in that movie.
Well,
Come
see,
on,
my
you're
thing
stirring
is-
the pot. You know it.
My thing is I remember how it makes me feel.
Yeah,
not
which
the
is
characters'
fine.
names.
Which is fine. Trace, what would your
Are
go
we
be?
strictly doing Disney movies
No,
now?
I
No, we're doing
Whatever.
anything. You can
Do anything.
Okay,
Anything you
well
want.
then I'm gonna pick Grave of the Fireflies. It's actually an older, I think it's an 80s Japanese animated film, and a lot of people haven't seen it.
Yeah,
But,
never even heard of it.
It's really, really touching story. It's about a brother and a sister, a family really, actually going through World War II in Japan. So it just follows them through this. It's really, really sad actually. He's super
Did
sad.
it
but
end with
it's,
a nuclear blast?
it might have.
Should have.
There- But no, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's definitely something people should see. And it's separate from. It's not a Miyazaki film or anything. It's a good movie.
Okay. As per request, we'll go with Ugly next, and we'll start with Trace again, or not again, but we'll start with Trace.
Okay, well, my ugly is probably Taylor's bad, and that's probably why he wanted to go last. So I'll just keep this short and sweet. My ugly is going to be Finding Nemo, and I'll leave the argument to him.
Okay, Scott.
My ugly is going to be Toy Story 2. A movie that I enjoy, but however I think is overrated on Rotten Tomatoes, with like a 100%
It's
maybe.
100%. Yeah.
100% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is just how. It's the worst movie out of the 3 Toy Stories.
Correct.
And with that said, I don't dislike the story. I do like the introduction of Jesse and Bullseye, who I think are pretty key characters when it comes down to the third one. You care for them. And Al from Al's Toy Barn is a pretty funky chicken. If you get my drift. But yeah, I think Toy Story 2 is going to be my ugly.
Well,
Taylor.
Okay, you guys went the route where you kind of like my ugly would be a movie that a lot of people probably even haven't heard of, but that I enjoy, which is Rockadoodle. It's a movie from my childhood. I loved it when I was a kid growing up. Most people probably haven't heard of it. Those who've actually seen it probably don't like it, but I love it. It's just something that connected with me as a child. So
And that's a mixture of live action and animated.
yeah, there's some live action in the beginning, and then 90% of it is animated. So.
My ugly is Wally. I didn't like it.
Wow.
It's not good.
All right, and now the bad, which
Thanks.
we will start with Scott.
My bad is Monsters University.
Whoa.
A movie that just it didn't ever have to be made. I don't care that how Mike Wazowski and Sully met. I don't really care. It's to be honest, I watched it once and I think it's kind of like one of those romantic comedies, just reversed. They don't like each other at first, and then they come together at the end. So whatever. It's not a movie that you need to see.
And they even threw in like questionable morals for Sully. Like he's cheating, you know what I mean? Like, just to make his friend feel better. Like that's not what. Like I don't know. It's definitely a movie that I love. Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
A lot, and it's a movie that didn't.
It takes away from it.
I don't.
It takes away from it. For
A
me.
sequel would have been warranted more than a prequel for sure. I mean, if they were
Probably
going to do one
agree,
at
yeah.
all, you know what I
You
mean?
didn't need to. That movie
didn't.
stands alone.
Yeah,
It's
oh,
one
for
of
sure.
the best.
Yeah.
So yeah, bad movie.
Let's go with Trace. We'll save Taylor for last.
Spitballing here, I'm gonna say Cars 1 as my bad. I just didn't, no appeal whatsoever to it. I saw it just because Pixar at the time didn't do no wrong for me. So I saw it and it was just, none of the characters resonated with me. I didn't care to ever revisit the movie afterwards. Just, and then I mean that might even fall in Ugly because I know that one's pretty revered as a good movie. So
Cars is good. You're wrong.
yeah, okay.
Okay. I'm actually gonna write a quick plead to Pixar to stop making planes. Stop it.
Is that technically a Pixar movies though?
It's a spinoff with Cars.
But it's Disney.
Is it Disney?
Yeah. 'cause
Anyway,
Pixar's-
stop it.
Yeah.
Dane Cook doesn't need jobs anymore. Just stop.
You know what's a spin off of Cars? Turbo.
It's not, but okay.
Yeah, DreamWorks.
And the bad is for Taylor.
Well, I guess I'm gonna start a war here. Finding Nemo.
It's gonna be 2-on-1 here.
Nope.
Oh yeah.
2-1-2. But okay.
I think Finding Nemo is terrible.
You're dumb.
The characters are terrible.
You're dumb.
None of them resonate whatsoever with me. Like
You're
I
an
could
idiot.
care less about the dad. I could care less about the stupid child. I could care less about the Dory, whatever she was. Like,
Hey.
what?
Hold on. The intro to Finding Nemo is like the same thing as the intro to Up.
It is
With-
an incredibly
for me,
sad story.
Up is more relatable characters than a fish.
Because they're
Like,
geezers. They're old.
They both lost the lady of their lives.
Yeah, but fish die every day. What do I care about that?
So don't people.
Oh my god.
I eat
He's a
fish. I don't eat people.
This is like the most Disney of all the Pixar movies, and that's why you hate it.
There's no character that
That's
I
good.
can feel connected with. There's absolutely no character. Like the drugged up turtle in there. Like, whoa, man.
Hilarious!
Stereotype. Yeah, dude, it's a stereotype.
It's
I
not
don't. And
hilarious.
it's
Like,
not. It's
there's-
not a drugged up turtle. It's a surfer
To
turtle.
me,
Yeah,
there's
right.
nothing
Right.
funny about that movie.
Oh my
There's
God.
nothing connectable about that movie. It's just a bland, crap movie overall. Honestly, there's nothing to me. Nothing good about it. Like especially like the little fish tank stuff that they did was whatever to me. The like seagulls. Who cares?
Jeffrey Rush.
Like, there's nobody in that movie that I have a personal connection to or that I cared about.
You know,
If
it's kind of like a Bruce.
Yeah. He's kind of
Jerk.
like
Look.
one of those music things that keep going round and round and round and round. But go on. Probably gonna tell us again that you didn't relate to any of the characters. You might as well hear it one more time.
Oh.
All right, Nimi, you're up.
Well, I'm
That
just
was my shots fired.
You're up.
anyways.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, look, I get it. You don't like it, but you know when you think about it, the most
What is there to
relatable
think about? It's
the movie. That's what we're talking about.
It's
We're talking about the movie.
The story's terrible.
Why?
Is it?
I don't know. I think they go on a
If you,
grand
if you
adventure.
replace all of the, as you said, stupid fish with human characters, wouldn't it be a compelling story?
Probably not, because that's still.
Are you
hate
just saying
Dory.
that just because you have your opinion and you're
Look,
not going to change it?
everybody who loves Dory is an idiot. I'm gonna say that.
She's
right
like
now.
legitimately.
Who would have thought?
She was comparable to like a mentally handicapped person
She's stupid.
as a
Well,
fish.
I don't know.
She's Rain Man.
I don't.
You hate Rain Man?
Yeah.
Yes.
You hate Dustin?
You
I don't-
just bought Rain Man. You take that back.
I don't know if I'd go so far as the mentally handicapped thing that.
Well,
David
like I mean,
said. So Taylor,
at
I'm on
the
your
very
side
least,
with
she's
that.
like
That-
autistic.
that to me doesn't make any sense. But I'll tell you one thing that movie did is made Ellen DeGeneres an actual character that everybody was quoting and that everybody enjoyed besides yourself and probably you.
Yep.
But I'm just saying that character, and I hate Ellen. Wait, no, do I hate her? I
Nobody
should.
hates Ellen. Ellen's actually like one of those.
Well, I was
wild-
talking about Jerry Winnikin. So.
Oh yeah. Well,
Oh!
we hate Jerry Winnikins, but
No,
Ellen
I'm joking. No, look, I get her as a talk show host. I never could see her. I can never see her as an actress. And Finding Nemo made her an actress, which voice work is not the easiest thing to do. If you can argue
you can argue one way or another, but trying to get someone to convey what you're feeling through just voice has got to be a time-consuming thing. And someone who is just a personality on television trying to get this character to be what they want it to be it's an incredible feat. So
You know who else
good
made
job for them.
an actor perfect? Ray Romano in Ice Age.
Yeah.
Dude, perfect. He is
Ice
definitely a
Age
man.
1, that's a
Huh?
good movie, actually.
Forgot about that one.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
forget about Ice Age.
Yeah, exactly.
Read through your list.
All right,
There's
we'll go
some
back to
really
five.
bad movies that were made because of Ice Age.
Okay, I'll speak my piece. I put mine in the ugly for a reason. I don't think it's a horrible movie. I don't think it's a bad movie, but I don't agree with how hyped it is compared to other Pixar movies. Is why it would sit in my ugly. I don't think it if I was rating the Pixar's 14-1, I think there's 14 movies out. It would not be in my top 10. Is all I'm saying. I mean, some things that he said I agree with. Dory was the big thing for me. That character just annoyed me a little bit. And maybe it was because it was Ellen DeGeneres, and I don't disagree that she didn't make the character her own, and maybe that's why I didn't like it as much. It's still going, it's just black. This is your indication.
Oh, I was like this.
Good and going.
Well, I was like pointing at it.
There's memorable characters in there, yes, but it just didn't stick with me as much as other Disney Pixar movies did.
So Fish Are Friends Not Food is not memorable to you?
It's memorable. I just said that it was memorable. It just
I thought
didn't
you
stick
said it's
with
not
me.
memorable to you.
No, I said it's a memorable movie. It had memorable moments, but it didn't stick with me compared to.
Oh, that's what I meant. It didn't stick with you.
Yeah.
So I just assumed that they're the same thing.
No, I mean it didn't, like, as a whole, not individual lines from the movie, as a whole film, which I'm assuming.
You're telling me if I asked you right now, from start to finish, as best as you can, go throughout the movie, you couldn't tell me in order what happened first to last?
Yeah, absolutely.
Damon, can you tell us what happened first to last?
I can. Our producer Ben just handed me his phone to read something to you guys. It is, I just watched a film where a man's wife is brutally murdered by a serial killer and left his unborn son physically disabled. Then, in a twisted turn of events, his son is kidnapped and he has to chase the kidnapper thousands of miles with the help of a mentally disabled woman. Finding Nemo is a real thriller. Boom. Mic drop.
Thriller.
Well, shut up, Taylor. No one likes you. Okay. I actually have something from our Twitter page that I saw.
What tweet?
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Tweet us!
It was
Tweet us!
Variety did a poll after, I think, when Inside Out came out, about what is the best Pixar movie ever made. And in the poll, which actually didn't get a lot of votes because who goes on Variety?
Dude, that's my favorite place.
If it was BuzzFeed, it'd be reliable.
BuzzFeed would be like
No, The Onion.
3 million
Yeah, The
votes
Onion,
per
We
thing.
got their opinion.
Okay, number one, voted by the people who did this, was Up.
Wow.
So Taylor's good. Number two is Toy Story. Number three, WALL-E,
Ooh.
which if I had to choose, that would probably be my ugly, because I didn't think WALL-E was that good.
Yeah.
I thought that was good.
Number four, Finding Nemo, and number five, Incredibles. So that was that list.
So it wasn't in the top. Sorry, I didn't hear
Finding
that.
Nemo was number four.
Okay.
Number four, yeah. Which I
See,
mean,
and
interesting.
like I'll go back to what you were saying to me. I'm not saying. I mean, I'm saying the movie that's why it was in my ugly, not my bad. It as a movie, it just didn't. If I had to place them in a list from best to worst, it would just wouldn't, compared to other Pixar movies, just wouldn't. That's my only thing, is that everybody always hypes everybody except for that list. Well, we made number four, yeah. They hype it up to that point, and I just think there's better stories that I like, that I relate and like better.
I cannot wait to get to this top 50 list and see how many movies I can go back and say that to with your movies. But
To say what?
to say that it was so hyped up and that it's in your list, because I know there's going to be some. I know it.
Like an example, real quick.
Well, I was thinking of the Marvel movies, the Avengers.
Oh,
but,
yeah. Well, you're wrong. None of them are in my top 50. So.
But okay, well, you guys cream over the Marvel movies, and those are always so hyped up. and they're not very good. But what I'm saying is, this movie transports you to a different continent, a different country, all while doing that under the ocean. So when I think of that movie, I'm like, dude, I would love to visit Australia.
Right.
But it's like, well, I'm not gonna snorkel all day. You know what I mean? But that to me is insane. That an animated movie at that, can do that. Can transport you to somewhere.
Can transport to Bugs World, to Monsters World, to
somewhere I can actually visit. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you could visit a Bug World if you really want to. Yeah, I'm saying he said it was
second
underwater.
from bottom on the list.
Yeah, I'm just using examples.
What? I'm gonna go visit Auntie at at the Disney.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I gonna go visit Auntie
Eat
and
a giant Oreo?
eat a giant Oreo and get?
Are you gonna just go underwater and hang with all these different fish?
No, but it's compelling me to actually go visit Australia as a whole. Because
So that's the takeaway from this movie, is to go visit Australia.
my point.
That's pretty much what you're making.
No, I'm not. How am I saying that? I'm saying it's transporting me to a different location where that I can actually go visit. I'm saying to you guys that it's like, wow, I would actually like to go visit Australia, a real place you can go visit. That's what it's transporting me somewhere else.
So that ends this insanely annoying episode of The Real Frame of Mind. Please follow us on our Twitter page, which is @RealFrameOfMind. Subscribe and like our YouTube page, which you are probably watching this on. The question for the night is, do you like Finding Nemo? That is apparently the biggest argument of the night.
Yes,
Led
we
to
do.
that.
Can you name 5 characters from your favorite movies without looking them up online?
Yes. Even though you're already online, you should.
Favorites.
Yeah.
Yep.
And watch our special features, which should be up pretty soon. We just filmed a couple days ago. And that should be it. Thank you for watching.